Welcome into another episode of the UCLA Bruins Insider Podcast on Sports Illustrated. I'm your host, Tom Cavanaugh. You can follow me at TCAV30 on Twitter/X and follow our insider pages at UCLA Insider on SI. We're going to be recapping this huge win for the UCLA Bruins men's basketball team. They take down Arizona 57-54. UCLA has now won 8 in a row. They protect their top 25 ranking. They are 9-1 at the moment. And the Arizona Wildcats, they fall to 4-5, crumbling down the stretch. This was a great game all the way through. UCLA had themselves a 2-point lead at halftime, and then they really fell into a slumber in the beginning of the second half. First 10 minutes of the second half, the Bruins had just scored 6 points. They were trailing in the ballgame 49-36. They were down 13 points with just 10 to play. And when you started looking at it, UCLA couldn't make any shots. They really did not shoot the ball well all day. They finished 45%. They were 4-21 from three-point range, 7-16 from the free throw line. Another glaring number. They had to make more free throws today. So overall, the scoring was not there for either side, considering they both were in the 50s. But the first 10 minutes of the second half was not the Bruins. They were not playing well. And then in the back half, when trailing by 13, they would finish the game in a 21-5 run to take down the Wildcats 57-54. Tyler Bilodeau was great. He had 17 points on 8 of 15 shooting, had 3 rebounds as well. Bilodeau had a lot of his shots in near the paint late in the ball game. They kept feeding him down low. He'd do a quick post move, hook shot and in. Had a few buckets near the rim. He would go to the line just one time, split his free throws. And down the stretch, he was big. Sky Clark, another junior transfer, Clark being a guard, he was 5-9 shooting, finished with 15 points. His season high was 3 of 7 from downtown, hit some very clutch threes, and then was 2 of 2 from the free throw line. The biggest shots that he made all day long when the Bruins had a 1-point lead. Clark goes to the line, hits both free throws. Bruins are up by 3, forcing Arizona to take a 3-point shot. They airball it, and the Bruins come out with a big win on the road. This was a neutral site game, but it was taking place at the home of the Phoenix Suns in Phoenix. Pretty much a home game for the Arizona Wildcats, because when you watch that game, there was a sea of red and navy blue pretty much all over the place. And this is, just another big game against a blue blood program on the road in a hostile environment. You didn't have the same student section that you had when you were playing Oregon last week, but doesn't matter. It was a home crowd for Arizona through and through, and the Bruins come in and get a huge win and overcame a 13-point deficit late in the second half. Credit to Kobe Johnson as well, the senior transfer from USC. 7 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 blocks. He had 3 offensive rebounds to lead the team as well. Can't say enough about what Kobe does on a game-to-game basis for this team. He might not light up the stat sheet when it comes to scoring the basketball, but my goodness, does he impact the game in so many different ways. He's grabbing 3 or 4 steals. Actually, it was Dylan Andrews who led the way in steals with 4. But Johnson as well, he was deflecting passes, forcing turnovers, boxing out, everything outside of just scoring the basketball. Kobe does so well, and a big reason why the Bruins got the win is he played a ton of minutes and was a big impact piece. Dylan Andrews, as we just mentioned, did not have his best offensive day, just 4 points for him, but those 4 steals were major. He was able to force a ton. 22 total, the Wildcats turned the ball over, so give some credit to UCLA. Despite them turning the ball over 14 times, they still won that turnover battle. And in the first half, a majority of their buckets came from turnovers off Arizona. In the second half, the Wildcats began to not turn the ball over as much, limiting the chances for UCLA. And they had to kind of generate offense on their own, did the Bruins. And they started off very slow, not great shooting, as we mentioned. And then down the stretch, when they had to really turn it on, they did so, executed well, and finished with a win. Sebastian Mack was 3 of 7 shooting. He finished with 6 points and 3 assists. Coming off the bench, he had good stuff. Not a ton of bench points. Besides Mack, just 5 other bench points. William Kyle III chipped in with 2, Adai Mara with 2 as well, and Trent Perry, he went to the line, sunk a free throw for just a single point. Most of the buckets were coming in the starting 5 role, and Cronin kept a tight bench. Later in that first half, you saw Adai get in there. William Kyle III got some minutes. Trent Perry, I think that was Trent came in while the Wildcats were going on that run to take a 13-point lead. Just wanted to get Trent in there, see if he could play a little better defense and guard those Wildcats a little better than the other guys that were in there prior to him. Lazar Stefanovic, Dominic Harris both came up scoreless, did not play a ton today. It was really the top 5 guys in Bilodeau, Daly, Clark, Andrews, and Johnson. And even Eric Daly, I mean, he was in foul trouble. He finished with 4, leading the team in personal fouls, so he didn't get a ton of time on the floor. But other guys picked him up, talking about Sky Clark, who had been silent the last couple of games. Bilodeau, obviously, the team's leading scorer. He came up in a big way. And then Kobe Johnson as well came through, Dylan Andrews defensively. So another key team win for this squad. And it really shows the diversity and ability to win ball games. I mean, you're trailing by double digits late in the game, and you're able to claw back and get a win, hitting some big shots down the stretch, playing good defense, gaining some clutch turnovers. And then, obviously, the other day against Oregon, you're the one that loses that late game lead, but you're able to come through and come up with a clutch shot from Dylan Andrews to win that ball game. And both are road, hostile environment games. This is going to bode well for the Bruins when they get down the stretch into Big Ten conference play, and they're taking on teams like Purdue, Wisconsin, Michigan State, all on the road. Those type of games are going to be really, really tough, especially away from their home building. So being able to kind of get these wins early in the year and show that they can do that is it's very satisfying for Bruin fans and head coach Mick Cronin. So kind of an outlook on the next couple of games for UCLA. They finish up. They will take on Prairie View A&M, who has not had a good year. They've lost 8 in a row. They're 1-8 on the year. That game on Tuesday night at Pauley Pavilion in Westwood. That's December 17th, a Tuesday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. That is 6:30 Pacific. And then the next 2 games are the final 2 non-conference games for the Bruins. Saturday, December 21st, that is next week, playing North Carolina at a neutral site, 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific. And then the following Saturday, just after Christmas, Saturday, December 28th, they're going to face number 8 ranked Gonzaga, 8 p.m. Eastern time, 5 p.m. Pacific. So a good slate. Hopefully, I mean, the Bruins handle business, take down Prairie View A&M pretty handedly, and get polished up to be able to play North Carolina and the Gonzaga Bulldogs. Should be a couple of really good games between the Bruins and those 2 squads. This has been the UCLA Bruins Insider Podcast, recapping a huge win, 57-54. The Bruins take down Arizona in the Wildcats' home state in Phoenix. Great win, 8 in a row now for Mick Cronin's group. They improved to 9-1 and continue to bolster up that top 25 ranking. They sit at 24 right now, but we'll see by the end of the weekend. Thanks so much, everybody. We will see you again tomorrow.